Hello, so we'll discuss the 3rd September paper of JEE Mains of 2020 attempt. So it is morning shift paper, JEE Mains 3rd September morning shift attempt. So let's start with the questions. So first question is in the acidic buffer obtained by mixing. So for an acidic buffer, it must be a combination of weak acid and salt. So if you'll check with the options, it's given CH3COH and NaOH when they'll neutralize each other completely. It will form a salt, so it will be a case of salt hydrolysis. So that won't be an answer. Next possibility, if I'll check, it's given acetic acid and NaOH, and NaOH is in excess, so it will form salt and excess NaOH. So that again cannot be a buffer solution. Third possibility, if I check, so it is CH3CONA and HCl will react. So that may lead to formation of, so reaction will write CH3CONA plus HCl. It will give you CH3COH plus NaCl. Millimoles of HCl is 10, millimoles of CH3CON is 20. So after reaction, it will left 10. This is 0, this is 10. So in the solution, we have a weak acid and its salt with strong base. That means it's a buffer solution of acidic category. So you can write it as an acidic buffer. And the last substance we will check, it is a strong acid and a salt. So that cannot be a buffer. So that means answer for this question must be 3. Clear? And to the next question, it's given, let NaCl and DaSO4 be the conductance measured for the saturated solutions of NaCl and DaSO4 respectively at temperature T. Which of the following is false? So for temperature, you have to refer, I have quoted the NCERT text that on increasing temperature, electrical conductance or electrolytic conductance increases. So it is irrespective of NaCl and DaSO4. In both the cases, it will increase. So statement number 1 and 4 is correct. Ionic mobilities of ions for both the salts increases with the temperature. This is also correct. And as NaCl gives more number of ions because it is strong electrolyte, more number of ions as it is a strong electrolyte. So that means molar ionic conductance, or you can say conductance of NaCl will also be much higher than conductance of barium sulfate. This is also correct. So that means all 4 options are correct in this case. So I think answer for this question must be a bonus for all or any of the options student has, because none of the statement is wrong. Statement number 1 is also correct and 4 is also correct because on increasing temperature, ionic conductance increases for the solution. So option number A, 1 and 4 is correct. 2 and 3 I have verified, that is also correct. So it must be bonus for all. For reference, you can quote the NCERT text so that the question can be bonus. Now it's given glycerol is separated in the soap industry by, this is also NCERT based question. I have quoted the text below. Is distillation under reduced pressure for glycerol and spentine in soap industry? This is the case. So you can refer the text. This is also a question of NCERT and already asked once in JEE Mains in the earlier papers. So it's a repeat question, you can say. So answer must be over here 3. Is that clear? So this is reduction under reduced pressure. So answer for this question is 3. Then to the next question, it's given in the boiling point of H2O is 373 and the boiling point of H2S. So in case of water, we have hydrogen bonding. In case of water, we have hydrogen bonding. So strong intermolecular forces. And in case of H2S, we have van der Waals forces. So that means weak interaction. That's why boiling point of water must be greater than boiling point of H2S. So if boiling point of water is 373 Kelvin, then certainly boiling point of H2S must be lesser than this. So we have only one option, less than 300 Kelvin. If you want to refer the data, I have quoted a table of NCERT book. There you can see the data also. Boiling point of water is 370 and it is 213 for H2S, so it is less than 300 Kelvin. So we can write answer over here is 4. If you want to check the exact data, I have placed a table for that from NCERT book, table number 7.7 of P Block 12th volume 1. If you want to write the reference, it is 12th volume 1 book of NCERT. So exact data can also be referred, but that is not needed. You can simply compare with the intermolecular forces and you'll get answer 4. Let's see an anti-fertility drug Novestrol can be reacted with. So I've taken the structure of Novestrol. This is again in the NCERT book 12 volume 2 chemistry and everyday type chapter. So now you can see the functional groups over here. This is alkyne, this is alcohol, and this is phenol. So alkyne can react with Br2 water. First option is not possible because HCN will react with aldehydic group. So that is aldehydic or ketonic group, that is not there. NaOCl gives like a haloform kind of test, that is also not there. Then check for option B, it's given Br2 water that can react with triple bond. So we can check Br2 water reaction possible is with triple bond. Then ZnCl2 HCl reaction possible with alcohol, that group is also present. And FeCl3 reaction is possible with phenol, that is also present. So with the given options, we can write answer as 2. Clear? NaOCl is test for haloform reaction, so there must be a CH3CO group or similar group which can be obtained by the oxidation. So option 3 and 4 are again not possible. Now to the next question, question number 6. It's given, is it true for a zero order reaction is a single step reaction? So if it is a zero order reaction, then it must be certainly a multi-step reaction, because in a single step, order cannot be zero because at least one of the reactant will be involved in that step. So that means statement 1 is wrong. Now statement 2 is given, zero order reaction must be multiple step. This is correct. Second order reaction is always a multi-step reaction. This is not correct. You can take example of SN2 reaction. SN2 reaction is single step and second order. You can refer rate as K into active mass of alkyl halide and into OH minus. So it is second order reaction and it is a single step reaction. So that means option 3 is also wrong. First order reaction is always a single step reaction. This is also not correct. First order reaction can also be of multi-step reaction. You can take here example of SN1. Here you can write rate is equal to K into active mass of Rx. This is you can say first order reaction, but it is two-step reaction, proceeds through carbocation. Proceeds through carbocation multi-step reaction. So here the two statement is asked, so two statement is only 2. So answer is 2 over here. Yeah. Okay, everyone. So answer must be 2 over here. Done. Then move to the question number 7. So in question number 7 is given of the species NO, NO plus, NO2 plus, and NO minus. You have to compare the minimum bond length. So compare their bond order. NO contains 15 electron, NO plus have 14 electron, NO2 plus have 13 electrons, and NO minus has 16 electrons. So if we compare the bond order, it will be 2.5 here, it is 3 over here. In this case, it is again 2.5 and here it is 2. So minimum bond length means strongest bond. So we know that bond strength is inversely proportional to bond order. So here we have minimum bond order for NO minus, which is 2. So its bond strength will be minimum. That's why answer must be 4. Bond order you can calculate by molecular orbital theory simply. 16 electron will be less like oxygen, so it is 2. NO2 plus is 13 electron. NO is 15 electron. NO plus is 14 electron, just like nitrogen. So with that you can compare the bond order. Bond order will be more. That means bond strength will be more and bond length will be less. So here question is of bond strength. So answer must be NO minus. Yeah. Then question number 7 is given Tyndall effect is observed when. This is also a JEE Mains repeat question. For Tyndall effect, there must be two conditions, that the diameter of dispersed phase and dispersed phase particle must be of the order of the wavelength of the light, and there must be significant difference between the refractive indexes of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So your diameter based question is there. So diameter of dispersed particle is similar to the wavelength of the light used. So answer must be 2. This is also an NCERT based question. We can use reference of NCERT here. So here reference can be, this is NCERT 12th of volume 1. There's given the conditions of Tyndall effect. Diameter of dispersed particle is not much smaller than the wavelength of light used, and refractive indices of dispersed phase and dispersion medium differs greatly in the magnitude. So answer must be 2 over here. That's when thermal power plants leads to the, in case of thermal power plants, mostly combustion takes place of coal and other fuels. So commonly here gaseous waste is evolved. So that may cause acid rain. Blue wavy centron and eutrophication is water pollution. Ozone layer application is because of CFC. This is related to water pollution, and this is also related to soil pollution. Okay. So blue wavy syndrome is water pollution, nitrate ion excess because of nitrate ion excess. Eutrophication is also related to water pollution. This is related to CFC. This is due to the gases like SO2 and O2, which can be leisurely formed in thermal power plants. So answer for this question must be 1. Okay. Then to the next question. An organic compound A molecular formula C10H20O2 is hydrolyzed with dilute sulfuric acid to give a carboxylic acid B and alcohol C. Oxidation of C with CrO3H2SO4 produces B. Which of the following structure is not possible? So it's better that you write there first hydrolyzed products. So here hydrolyzed product is CH3 whole thrice C COH plus CH3 whole thrice C CH2OH. So this one oxidation gives you the carboxylic acid. That means this is not the answer, because in the question it is asked not possible. Check it very carefully. In the next case, if I write, then it will break from this side. So the carboxylic acid is CH3. Carboxylic acid over here is CH3, CH2, CH2, COH, and the alcohol form is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2OH. So alcohol on oxidation will give you the carboxylic acid. This is also not the answer. In this case, we'll get CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, OH. This is the alcohol. And the carboxylic acid formed is COH, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. So now you can see that here on oxidation of alcohol will not give you the carboxylic acid, because in case of carboxylic acid, total carbon are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Whereas in alcohol it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of carbon are not matching. That means this is the answer. So we can simply write answer for this question as the third one. In case of fourth also you can check the same thing. In case of fourth, if you write the hydrolysis product, it is CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, COH. This is carboxylic acid form. And the alcohol form is CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2OH. So here on oxidation of alcohol, we'll get the carboxylic acid. So this is not the answer. It is asked in which case it is not possible. So not a possible structure of A is asked. So answer must be 3. Yeah. And the next question, question number 11, it's given which of the following compound produces the optically inactive compound on hydrogenation. That means on reduction of double bond, you have to check in which case it will be a different product. That means across a chiral center, symmetrical group should be there after reduction. So if you will see here, we have 2 carbon on this side and 3 carbon on this side. So no symmetry is possible. Second case, if you will check the same thing, here also it's a straight chain, here it is a branch chain, so this is also not a possible answer. In this case, if you will see, here it is symmetrical carbon chain, and this on reduction will form. It will write the reduction product of this, so this on reduction will form this symmetrical carbon side on both the sides. So their chirality will be lost. This is optically inactive. So this must be your answer. If you check your answer, it must be C. Third one. In the fourth case also you can check that it is unsymmetrical structure. If on reduction you will get it is straight chain, that is a branch chain. So that cannot be the answer. So answer for this question is third one. Clear? Next one, question number 12. In a molecule of pyrophosphoric acid, the number of POH, PO and POP bonds. So first you draw the structure of pyrophosphoric acid. Pyrophosphoric acid is H4P2O7. And as per the structure, it has a POP bond. So pyrophosphoric acid structure will be, it is tetrabasic acid. It has 4 OH units. This is the structure possible. Now count POH bonds. So POH bonds are 4. So POH bond, if you check, it is 4. Then POP bond is 1. And then P double bond O bond, if you check, it is 2. So answer must be 4, 2 and 1. So if you check the options, so 4 to 1 is second option. The answer must be 2. Done. And the next question is given electronic spectrum of TiH2O whole 6 3+ shows a single broad peak with a maximum at 2030 centimeter inverse. The crystal field stabilizing energy of the complex ion in kilojoule per mole, and 1 kilojoule is given 83.7 centimeters. So you have to basically write the energy corresponding to the wavelength. So it must be E equal to hc by lambda. And already it's given for 1 centimeter, 83.7 centimeter inverse is 1 kilojoule. So 20300 centimeter inverse must be in terms of energy as 20300 divided by 83.7 kilojoule per mole. So your CFSE will be equal to, just solve. So your energy this is not CFSE actually, this is the energy required for the excitation. Now you can see it is titanium 3 plus state. So the configuration will be 3D1. Titanium configuration is 4s2 3D2. So Ti3 plus will be 3D1. So if you write its splitting, so one electron will be in T2G, Eg will be vacuum, and this gap is given to you delta O, which we have calculated here as 242.5 kilojoule per mole. And this is the pericenter. So if I write CFSE, it is minus 0.4 delta O. This must be minus 0.54 delta O. So if you calculate this value, so this is minus 0.4 into 242.5. This comes out to be minus 97 kilojoule per mole. So student may demand for a bonus because minus is not given. But as per the options, if I write the most suitable answer, it must be 4. You can claim for a bonus because minus is not given, so that can be a fault of the question. CFSE must be minus 97 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So we can go for a bonus over here if they'll accept. Otherwise, as per the options, most appropriate answer is 4. So we can write answer 4. Next question number 14 is given, which one of the following compound possesses the most acidic hydrogen? So you have to compare the acidic strength. So here you can check that this hydrogen, if you remove, then the carbanion will be in resonance with 3 C double bond O groups. So this minus charge is in resonance with this, as well as with this, as well as with this. Okay. Whereas in the next case, if you write, then it will be C triple bond N, C triple bond N. With the minus charge, its resonance possible over here is this. And another side also it is possible. Okay, but minus charge will go on nitrogen, while in the first case minus charge will reach to oxygen, so that is more stable. While in this case, if you write carbanion form, then it will be in resonance with only one carbon, so definitely lesser acidic. And the last one, it is sp hybrid carbon, so this is also acidic enough, but most acidic hydrogen you have to remove, so we'll write answer 1, because there 3 resonance are possible and minus charge is reaching to oxygen. That will give you the most acidic strength over here. So answer must be 1 for this question. Clear to everyone? Then question number 15, it's given Henry's constant for 4 gases, alpha, beta, gamma and delta in water at 298 Kelvin is given. And then it is given density of water is given. This table implies that, so notice the question carefully. They have asked that you have to report the answer with respect to this table. First case it is given alpha has the highest solubility in the water at the given pressure. So this is incorrect because solubility of gas is inversely proportional to pH. If KH is more, solubility is less. KH is less, solubility is more. So here highest solubility will be of gamma, not of alpha. So it is wrong. Next it is given solubility of gamma is 308 Kelvin is lower than 298 Kelvin. So that is correct. On increasing temperature, solubility decreases for the gases. That's a correct statement. On increasing temperature, solubility decreases for the gas, but this information cannot be extracted from the table, because from table you can compare the solubility of four gases, but you can't compare the solubility of gases at two different temperatures. So although statement number 2 is correct, but it is not implying the table, so this cannot be the answer. Next, it is given pressure of a 55.5 molar solution of gamma is 1 bar, and pressure of this, so that you have to calculate. So if we have molality is equal to 55.5, right? So if you want to calculate mole fraction from here, so mole fraction means molality is 55.55 moles. So if I write the molality, so it's moles of solute is this divided by moles of solute plus moles of solvent. So this is in 1000 gram of water. So you can write mole fraction will be 0.5. Now solubility, so mole fraction of the gas solubility is 0.5. So if you will compare it with this, then partial pressure must be Kh into mole fraction. You have to check it for gas gamma and delta. So if you check it for gamma, it is pressure will be equal to 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 into zero point 0.5, right? 2 into 10 to the power minus 5 into zero point 0.5. So for gas gamma, this comes out to be 10 to the power minus 4 into kilobar, 10 to the power minus 4 kilobar. So you can say 0.1 bar. That means option 3 is not correct. And this comes out to be 0.25 kilobar, which is same as 250 bar. So this matches with the right information. That means option 4 is correct with respect to table, although option 2 is also correct, but you have to write the answer which is correct with respect to table. So we'll write answer 4 over here. Make it very clear, option 2 is also correct, but then a question is given, this table implies that, so option 2 cannot be predicted from table. That means we have to write answer 4. Next, given the Zeldol's method of nitrogen estimations fails for which of the following reaction product? So you know Zeldol's method fails at the compound where nitrogen is in the ring. It is failed with the nitro derivatives. It fails with azo coupling groups. So just check the options. In first case, the product will be, first you write down the product, then you will be able to decide. So this is aniline. This can be estimated from Zeldol process. Here it will be a primary amine, it will be CH2NH2. This can also be estimated by Zeldol's method. Here first it is given SnCl2HCl and then followed by hydrolysis. So it will form first CH double bond NH, and then on hydrolysis it will produces CHO group. So this cannot be estimated by Zeldol's process. So this is the one. In the next case NaNO2HCl, then it will form disodium salt. And if excess aniline is present, then it can go azo coupling. And the compound having azo bond also does not detect nitrogen by Zeldol's method. So this is also not case. That means option C and D will not give Zeldol's test. So answer must be 1. Clear? Then the next question is given atomic number of the element unnilinium. So it's given unnilinium. So for un it is 1, for nil it is 0, for in it is 9. So its atomic number will be 109. That means your answer must be 4. Then question number 18, it's given the complex that shows optical activity. So it's given cis form of chromium fluoride. So cis form means 2Cl will be in cis, and then 2 oxalate ion is bidentate ligand. So it must be like this. This is cis form, and this is optically active because its mirror image will be non-superimposable. So this is optically inactive. While in case of trans product, it will have plane of symmetry. In case of trans product, it should have plane of symmetry. And when four monodentate ligands are there, then also optical activity is not possible. So here answer must be 1. This is also a standard question of NCERT book. Two bidentate ligand and two monodentate ligand in the cis geometry shows optical isomerism. In trans geometry, it will not show optical isomerism. It is optically inactive due to plane of symmetry. So in other three cases, if you draw the structure, you can easily find out the plane of symmetry. So answer must be 1 over here. Then question number 19 is given aqua is used to dissolve noble metals like gold, platinum, etc. So they are basically converted to their corresponding chlorides. So aqua is HNO3 plus HCl combination, and because of in the ratio of 1:3, so here it will convert to auric chloride AuCl3, and the gas evolved as N over here. Mostly we can write NOCl, but on heating that can give you NO also. So this is the possibility. So the gas released over here is NO plus 2 moles of water. So as per the given options, we'll write answer 2 here, because aqua regia is 1:3 ratio of HNO3 and HCl. Clear? Then question number 20, it's given the mechanism of SN1 reaction is given as a student writes general characteristics based on the mechanism. The reaction is favored by a weak nucleophile, correct? Strong nucleophile favors SN2 reaction. So this statement is correct. R plus would be easily formed if the substrate is bulkier. If bulkier is there, so carbocation stability will be higher. For SN1 reaction, stability of carbocation favors the reaction. Stability of carbocation favors the reaction. Next, it is given reaction is accompanied by racemization. So if you take an optically active reactant, then it will certainly undergoes inversion, as well as, in this case, it is inversion as well as retention. And little inversion is more. Still, you will lead to racemization, but not complete racemization. This reaction is favored by non-polar solvent. So this is incorrect statement. This is favored by polar protic solvent. This is favored by polar protic solvent. Favored by polar protic solvent. So statement A, B, C are correct. So we can write answer 4. Okay. So reaction is accompanied by racemization. Student may try for option third also, correct, but most appropriate answer is 4. But you may try for option third also, because racemization is not complete racemization, because it is racemization with little inversion in SN1 reaction. So if you argue, you can say that answer 3 is also correct. So depending upon your correct option, you have to try. As per my thought, its answers must be 4, because it's given accompanied by racemization. So it hasn't mentioned that partial racemization, complete racemization. So if you want to take benefit of doubt, you can take. Otherwise, answer is 4 here. Next, given mole fraction of glucose in an aqueous binary solution is 0.1. The mass percentage of water in it. So mole fraction is given 0.1. That means I can write mole fraction of water will be, mole fraction of glucose is 0.1, then certainly mole fraction of water is 0.9. Then you have to write mass percentage of water. So mass percentage of water means mass of water, which is 0.9 into 18, divided by mass of the solution, which is 0.1 into 180 plus 0.9 into 18 into 100. This is your percentage by mass. Just solve and get the answer. So this on solving will give you 47.36, and in the nearest integer you have to write the answer. So answer must be 47.00. Make it very clear. Although you can fill up answer up to 2 place of decimals, but in the question it's given you have to answer in the nearest integer. That means you have to round off the number. Answer is actually 47.36. 8 और आगे तक calculate करेंगे. So answer is 47.36. but you have to fill 47.00 because you have to round it off to the nearest integer. Next question is given volume strength of 8.9 ml S2O2 solution is calculated at 2273 Kelvin and 1 atmospheric pressure is, so we know that molarity is equal to volume strength upon 11.2. This is the formula. So if I'll calculate volume strength, then it is molarity into 11.2. And again the question is given round it off to the nearest integer. So again you have to round it off to the nearest integer. So this comes out to be 99.68. And if you round it off to the nearest integer, your answer must be 100. And you have to fill 100.00. In the last question also, you have to round it off to the nearest integer. Here also round it off to the nearest integer. So it is creating a big panic to the student because ultimately it was possible that we can write answer up to 2 place of decimals. Exact answer is coming 99.68, but you have to fill the answer as 100 because in the question it's clearly given that you have to round it off to the nearest integer. So answer must be 100. Next question is given an element with a molecular mass to 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 2 kg per mole. That means molecular mass of the substance, if I can write, it is 27 grams. And forms a cubic unit cell with the edge length of 405 picometer. The density is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 3 kg per meter cube. So density also we can write, it is 2.7 gram per centimeter cube. You can write 2.7 gram per centimeter cube. The radius of the element is approximately into 10 to the power minus 12 meters. And again, you have to write the answer to the nearest integer. So apply the formula for density here. So density is m by Na into effective number of atoms by A cube. Here small n is effective number of atoms. With this, we'll predict whether it is simple cubic, body-centered cubic, or face-centered cubic arrangement. And then we'll be able to relate the radius with the h length. So if we solve, it's given 2.7 is equal to 27 by Na into 10 upon 405 picometer. So it will convert into centimeter, 405 into 10 to the power minus 10 cube. So from here we have to calculate small n first, then we'll be able to relate the radius. So from here on solving we'll get n equal to 4. Then for FCC arrangement we all know that for FCC 4r is equal to a root 2. So r will be equal to 4045 by 4 root 2 into 10 to the power minus 12 meters. If you solve it, it comes out to be 143.18 into 10 to the power minus 12 meter. And then we have to write answer in the nearest integer again. Check it carefully. So nearest integer will be 143. So answer must be 143.00. Check in all the cases. It is little tricky. Every time answer is coming up to 2 places of decimal, but you have to report in the nearest integer. Clear? Then question number 24 is given the photoelectric current from sodium. Work function is given 2.3 electron volt is stopped by the output voltage of this cell. That means from this cell we'll first predict the stopping potential. That's given pH of an aqueous solution, aqueous HCl required to stop the photoelectric current from potassium. Work function is given 0.25 electron volt. All the other conditions remaining the same is, so you have to find out the stopping potential in this case. So this is quite a lengthy question. Okay, I'll start solving. So first you write the cell equation. At anode it is oxidation, so H2 gives 2H plus 2 electron. And at cathode it will be a reduction, so it is AgCl solid plus electron will give you Ag solid plus Cl minus aqueous. Now if you add the two equations, you will get the final cell equation multiplied by 2. So it is hydrogen gaseous plus AgCl solid gives you Ag 2 AgCl solid gives you 2 Ag solid plus 2 Cl minus aqueous. So for this cell, if I'll calculate E naught cell, so it is E naught RHS minus E naught LHS. So this is 0.2 minus 0, which is 0.22 volt. Then number of electron exchange is 2. Q is equal to Cl minus concentration square upon, and here it will be 2H plus also. So Cl minus concentration square into concentration of H plus square, right? So if I'll calculate first E cell, then it is E naught cell minus 0.06 by 2 into log of concentration of H plus square into Cl minus square. Concentration of H plus square and concentration of Cl minus square. Concentration of H plus, so pH is given, that means H plus concentration is log of 10, so 0.1. So here as per the stopping potential concept, we can write Ke max is equal to actually EV naught, where E naught is stopping potential. This is equal to H nu minus work function, which is 2.3. Okay, this is the information given. And for the second cell, if I write the same thing, then it will be Ke max again. Stopping potential will be, let's say, EV1. H nu is same, minus 2.25 electron volt. This is the given information. And V0 and V1 you have to calculate based on the pH values. So what exactly you do, you have to remove H nu from this. So subtract the two equations. So I'll get EV0 minus EV1 will be equal to, H nu will be cancelled, so it will be minus 2.3 plus 2.25. So we can write EV1 minus EV0 will be equal to 0.05, right? Now for two different values, V1 and V0 we can write. So V0 value is 0.22 minus 0.06 log of concentration of H plus into Cl minus, and here H plus concentration is 0.1. For second case it is 0.22 minus 0.06 log of concentration of H plus you have to find out into Cl minus. So now you have to calculate V1 minus V0. So subtract the two terms. So V1 minus V0, if you will subtract, it will come out to be minus 0.06 into log of concentration of H plus into Cl minus upon 0.1 into Cl minus. Cl minus gets cancelled. So we'll get V1 minus V0 is equal to minus 0.06 log of H plus upon 0.1, or you can say this is the value. Okay, and this V1 minus V0 is given to you 0.05 by E. So this is 0.05 by E is equal to, and that is actually stopping potential. So in the electron volt unit, if you will write, so it is 0.05 simply, right? So 0.05 is equal to minus, if you will remove, it will be 0.06 log of 0.1 upon H plus concentration. So you have to calculate pH from here. So we can write we can simply write 5 by 6 from here. So it will be 5 by 6 is equal to log of 0.1 minus times log of H plus. Minus times log of H plus is pH. So pH is equal to 5 by 6 minus log of 0.1. Okay. So now you solve, you will get your answer. So pH comes out to be 11 by 6 over here, and which we can write as 11 by 6 can be written as 1.83. आगे भी 333 चलता चला जाएगा, so 1.833 ये pH आएगा, and you have to report your answer as 183.3 into 10 to the power minus 2. So that means the possible answer here is, in the nearest integer, it is 183. Okay, possible answer is 183. I think for this question also you will get claim option, because the answer given by JEE Mains is 58, which I think it is not correct. It should be 183 in the nearest integer. Then the next question is given the total number of monohalogenated organic product in the following, including the stereoisomers of the reaction. It's given A, simplest optically active alkene. So simplest optically active alkene If we'll write, that means we need a chiral center. So simplest possible alkene showing optical activity must be 1H, 1CH3, this is CH2, CH3 and CH double bond CH2. If it undergoes reduction with decyl hydrogen, it will produce this compound. And then on monohalogenation of this, we'll get the possible products as 1X over here. So now it becomes chiral center. Then X can be at the position here. And then there will be two chiral centers. After that, next possibility is that X will be at this position. So this is another possibility. And then the last possibility we can try is that X must be at this position. So these are the possible structures. And the question is given that you have to include the stereoisomers also. So possible answers are 2 over here, 4 over here, this is 1 and this is 1. So total it becomes 4 plus 2, 6 plus 8. So that means your answer must be 8. Okay. So that's all for the paper. Thank you so much.